Hello and welcome to my Impact Wrestling review. As we are 15 days away from Slammiversary, there was a lot going on in the show tonight to pretty much still build the show and build the card into Slammiversary. There was a lot of good things going on in Impact tonight. Pretty much we first kicked it off with Tessa Blanchard versus Jake Chris. Pretty much this whole feud is Tessa Blanchard versus Sami Callihan for some reason, or OVE in general. I don't know where this is going, but Tessa, I know Tessa's a face now, but she's beating up the dudes, which is actually almost somewhat looks believable, as some people would say in this match. I did find it funny at the crowd chanting, "Go back to Ohio," at what was it? Oh yeah, it was a Jake Chris. This match wasn't really bad, so I kind of expected Tessa to get a lot of offense in general. I thought it was a good back and forth. Pretty much Tessa hit the Magnum on, she hit the Magnum on Jake Chris from the top rope, pretty much getting the win. So it wasn't that bad of a match. OVE came out then. Pretty much Tessa got out of dodge and some of the numbers game, as Tessa pretty much did her hand like this, pretty much telling Sami Callihan to bring it on and stuff. I'm assuming this match is just gonna be a Slammiversary. I can already tell, so I guess it will be Sami Callihan versus Tessa Blanchard. But this match wasn't that bad though between her and Jake Chris. It's like people say, Tessa Blanchard is a fucking beast out there. So there you go. But pretty much immediately right after Tessa Blanchard left, Eddie Edwards' music came out, as there were no commercial breaks, as Edwards was about to go against Madman Fulton. Eddie Edwards pretty much came in, started clearing out, Callihan and Dave Chris out there hitting a suicide dive on Madman Fulton. It's funny, Sami Callihan is the reason why Eddie Edwards went crazy to begin with, but we're not going to talk about that feud. The match was not, match wasn't bad and everything. Pretty much Eddie Edwards had got his little Kenny 2.0 stick from under the ring. Next thing you know, Killer Cross was on the screen as he appeared in the back with, say, Mr. Edwards, as someone was sitting there in some room or wherever they were, like a janitor's closet, with a guy with his bag over his head, pretty much saying, "This is Sandman here, huh? This is your buddy Sandman, huh? Because, hey, me and you, Eddie, you said water under the bridge." He pretty much kept telling Sandman to be quiet. I guess he had a bag over his head sitting there. He said, "Sandman's fine. He's okay." Because, he's got all the alcohol and, cigarettes they can have up here to consume. But as Sandman kept mumbling, which we assumed it was Sandman, Killer Cross pretty much says, "You must be thirsty." Pretty much he started to waterboard him by pouring a giant gallon of water over his head. It's like, "Come on, Eddie. Come join the party, Eddie. Come on, Eddie. Come on, Eddie." Pretty much Cross said, "Eddie, you son of a bitch, let's do this. Come on, come on, come on." And as Eddie pretty much looked at the screen, Madman Fulton hit him with the "In the Days" right after that, winning the match. OVE left, Killer Cross, but Eddie Edwards pretty much got his kendo stick and I guess went on the search for Sandman. Not a bad match though, I will say that. Pretty much the main part mostly was Killer Cross showing up on the screen, which I thought was great, by the way, just making him still look crazy. I say he's one of the best things on this show, Killer Cross. I hope they don't lose this guy, but hey, Scarlett Bordeaux already left, so will he follow behind? I don't know, man, but you already gotta get these contracts together with these guys. This guy's money, okay? I keep telling people this. Killer Cross is fucking money. But the match with Eddie Edwards and Fulton, good match though. I'm assuming these two are still going to have a match at Slammiversary. Also, I know they have a match on TV already, but I'm assuming it's going to be another one with Killer Cross and Eddie Edwards. So watch out for that. Next thing you know, he was searching as Alicia Edwards pretty much his wife told him to stop. It's a trap. And pretty much he knows it's a trap, but he didn't want to listen to anybody. He was going to hunt for him. Moose came out to go against Tommy Dreamer. Since Moose pretty much vows to take out all the ECW guys, he was going to start off with Tommy Dreamer, as he said last week. This match was not bad, I will say that. Pretty much it ended up with Dreamer getting a chair from under the ring. Moose used the referee as a shield, throwing the referee at Tommy Dreamer. He pretty much hit him with a pump kick with the chair in front of Tommy Dreamer's head, and he went for the spear for the win. He pretty much started stomping on Dreamer after that. as the commentators say, he was using psychological warfare. He was going to do his own man Terminator from the top rope, but RVD came out and stopped him as Moose pretty much headed for the hills then after that. So, yeah, pretty good match, I will say that. But yeah, it still builds into RVD and Moose at Slammiversary. I'm assuming next week is what's gonna be, what, Moose versus Sabu. I'm assuming that's gonna be, because we're like 16 days away from this show, so the show's getting closer. But I'm assuming that's gonna be next week. Taya and Johnny Bravo in the back looking for Rosemary and wherever she is at, and pretty much I guess they found it because it was all purple lights. And yeah, this is I guess this dark place where she would stay in there. Pretty much as she was in her lair, Rosemary showed up out of nowhere, saying that the mortal, you and your Johnny dog here, what have you come for? Taya said she's only here because she had to, pretty much. Taya said that the humidity is really messing up her complexion down here because of the heat. And she says, you told Rosemary you and your goblin friends are a problem and you need to take care of this problem. Rosemary said, you used to be a thunder goddess, if you remember Taya's kind of gimmick before she was, just probably like where I Loca Taya from Lucha Underground. She was like the ice queen or something in this very extravagant entrance before she is right now. But Rosemary said, you used to be a thunder goddess and now you're running to us to take care of your problem. Okay? Taya said, in Slamtown, listen, we need an exterminator for this pest problem, okay? As Ty said, we don't know how to deal with these creatures, but you do, and you're the one that exterminates. But Rosemary said that comes with a price. You give a little, you get a little. So, pretty much, you want my services, we want a shot at that Knockouts Championship. Ty pretty much says, okay, I got you. So, pretty much is this. You take out your goblins, I give you a title shot. So, makes sense. When you look at it, as Taya doesn't really want to be in this whole feud, but Rosemary's in feud with Havoc, Su Yung, and James Mitchell, so it wasn't at least it wasn't over the top if they done with the whole Undead Nightmare or Undead Realm thing. But this was a good segment. Pretty much, Ty, hey, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. So you need to take them off, all right? Because Ty's trying to keep her belt, and she doesn't want to lose it to any of the others because they're all coming for her title right now. So at least it makes sense and there's logic to this story. Melissa Santos was about to interview Johnny Impact until Johnny Bravo get bothering her, and she says, "What?" He's pretty much getting annoyed because of the whole giant red X thing. Johnny showed up then, talking about the triple threat main event between him, Michael Elgin, and Rich Swann. Pretty much said Elgin, it's got a bit of a hand to feed him pretty much tonight. He said that, it's understandable because Elgin is hungry, but he's not that smart. And he pretty much called him out like, Big Mike, it's time for some big payback tonight. As he said he was going to cash in that Red X at Slammiversary for the X Division title against Rich Swann. Johnny Bravo kept pretty much holding up the X in front of Melissa Santos, by the way. She kept trying to push it away. As pretty much said that Rich Swann has a one-way ticket to Slamtown, and he's going to leave at Slammiversary with the X Division title from him. Melissa pretty much kept getting annoyed and pushing the X away as they walked off after that. Taya then went against Su Yung for the Knockouts Championship. Pretty much Su Yung had Havoc and James Mitchell out there with a. It's not much to say from this match. It wasn't bad. The only thing I think people would kind of get bothered by was the finish of the match, because Taya had pretty much went back to climb on the ropes at one point to pose, and Su Yung was up with her bloody glove and everything. Pretty much Su Yung was trying to grab her, but Havoc pretty much shoved Taya off, pretty much making a disqualification. Then after that, as Su Yung pretty much kept looking at Havoc, wondering like, what did you do? Taya pretty much still had her title as she was starting to get surrounded then. Rosemary's music hit. Taya pretty much got out of the ring and pretty much crawled back to Rosemary. And pretty much James Mitchell got on the mic and pretty much says, look at this. Rosemary's come to save the day pretty much. And, Mitchell says he isn't here to incite violence or anything. It is time for a celebration because Slammiversary is coming up. And pretty much since it's going to be Texas and everything, is known for parties, and he's announced that Rosemary, Su Young, Havoc, and Taya will be involved at a ball, a special ball, and I think you all know what this ball is, a Monsters Balls match. So at Slammiversary, it will be a fatal 4-way Monsters Ball match for the Knockouts Championship. Taya, Rosemary, Havoc, and Su Young. Everyone pretty much looked pleased except for Taya not wanting to do the match. So I kind of expected it. Well, I didn't really expect it to be a fatal 4-way. I thought it was going to probably be another one-on-one match for the Knockouts title, but I'm fine with this match and everything, especially I guess Monsters Ball. Listen, a lot of these Monsters Balls in the past, most of them pretty much involved Abyss, and I think people got tired of his matches being in the Monsters Ball because they either became too repetitive or too redundant that you can name almost every move, what he's going to do, what weapons he's going to pull out, from trash cans, chairs, get the thumbtacks, get Janice. That's the thing. So I will say one thing about this Fatal 4-Way Monsters Ball. It doesn't involve Abyss this time, because pretty much every Monsters Ball match you ever see before Abyss left the company, it is him in a Monsters Ball. When he gets that point, Monsters Ball, Monsters Ball, Monsters Ball, Monsters Ball. So at least it's from someone different this time, and I think this match fits in, some of these women's element, especially for I would say Rosemary and Havoc and Su Young. I don't know how Ty's gonna get involved in it, but it should be good. So that's a match. At least it's gonna be different, and I will say it's something to look forward to in this whole feud. So different type of Monsters Ball this time. Not the same one with Abyss. Next, Ace Austin came out. He was ready for a match. As pretty much as he came out, he still looks like Gambit, by the way. He pretty much started, plugging his T-shirt. Pretty much go buy my merch right now and online. By the way, I felt like the crowd was very quiet here. Every time he kept talking, it's like nobody reacted. Pretty much, he said that he is unpinned and undefeated in Impact right now, and he says he's the future of the X Division, and it should be now called the Ace Division, pretty much. So he pretty much wanted an open challenge then from anybody in the back. I just found it odd that nobody reacted every time he kept talking, but next thing you know, some music played. I didn't know who this is. Next thing you know, it was a returning TJP. TJ Perkins was back in the company. If you do not remember, I'm sure you all know who TJP is and, WWE, but if you want to go far back, if you remember, he was in Impact many years ago. I think almost until, 2015, 16, he left the company. But I think that was, due to creative differences. I think a lot of people were just leaving Impact at the time. But if you do not remember who he was Suicide at one point. I don't know if he was the original Suicide, but I know he was Suicide. Then he was, Manic or something. And then, it was just TJ Perkins. Then we all know he went to WWE and he won the Cruiserweight Classic. And, unfortunately, 205 just killed the guy like it's killed many other people on that show. I don't know what's on 205, so I'm not going to get to that. But I just remember him being on there doing the whole video game thing. And at first I thought it was okay, but I thought his promos were horrible and WWE and stuff. But TJ Perkins was back in Impact again, so it was actually surprising to see him. Like I said, if you don't remember, he was Manic, he was Suicide. I think the real reason why if I remember, the reason why they got rid of him from WWE, I don't know if it had to do with his tattoos I kept hearing about at one point, because he was released back in, February, I think, back from WWE. So it is good to see him back in Impact, and it is a good pickup for Impact, because Perkins is really good in the ring, so I do like that, but I know I'm just trying to remember, what did he get released for? If I remember, I know they wasn't doing much with him, but I just heard something to do with his tattoos. I don't know if it was game related. I don't know what it was, but he does have a lot of new tats now. But pretty much, this match started with Austin and Perkins. You got a welcome back chant. I just don't know why this crowd wasn't this loud at this point, but some people didn't think was it Mike Well or something. It's just like it was silent, especially Ace Austin's promo, but pretty much this wasn't a bad match or anything. Perkins pretty much, hit him with the him with a frost slash and then a crossbody from the top rope. It didn't hit the detonation kick on Ace Austin for the win. Now, there's a problem with this. Okay, number one, like I said before, it's good Perkins is back. Will this be a feud with Ace Austin? I don't know. But I kind of find it odd that they have Ace Austin lose after he's been, he's been, what did he say it was? He was undefeated, he was unpinned. The guy was kind of, I know he's been in the company that long, but he's been racking up wins and, kind of gaining a name out here. And I'm thinking, all right, they're building this guy up and stuff. But I kind of find it odd that you just bring somebody back from WWE now to beat a current guy that you're trying to build up and make a star right now. And, new guy, young guy right here. So I kind of find it, strange. Like, now if this ends up in a feud, I won't mind seeing Perkins and Ace Austin, but Ace Austin, you need to, that's a guy I feel like they were building up. I hope they're dropping the ball on him and keep building this guy, because his little Gambit gimmick or whatever cards and stuff is pretty good, and he's been putting on some good matches out here, and some, like I said before, building a name and stuff. So we'll see where this goes, but I found it very strange that they just had him lose to a returning TJ Perkins here at this point. So that was kind of odd to me. Next, the Rascals were, I guess, back in the smoke section or whatever they was at, but they were back in the smoke section, as it was like, I don't know, brown smoke this time, not regular smoke. Why was it brown? I don't think weed turns brown. But as they were talking about, they finally had their title shot, but they don't want to take an ass whipping, Conan pretty much came in and said, you know what, listen, he said, listen up, I gotta respect you guys. You guys came in, you guys want a title shot. But here's the thing, you don't come into our clubhouse and think without being uninvited, then you can call some shots around here, okay? You guys got talent, well, not talent, LAX, but as he said, but listen, that's why you need a title shot, and you guys better watch out. You guys better be ready to face us when we when Slammiversary comes around, okay? So I think you all need to watch out. As Conan pretty much said, hasta la muerte y después, and I got like he did the gun thing, and all the Rascals pretty much started ducking like it was some real pistol or something. But Conan in the smoke section, no, okay. But we'll see where this is gonna go with the Rascals, since they're still in a few LX after they got beat up by them last week. But we'll see where this goes. Next, Eddie Edwards was still hunting for Killer Kross and the Sandman. Pretty much he opened the room and he found, I guess, Sandman, but when he opened the bag over the guy's head, it wasn't Sandman. Kross pretty much grabbed him like he put a mirror in front of his face, and then pretty much said, which Eddie is this, huh? Which Eddie is it? But as some music started playing or something, Eddie Edwards and Kross brawled. Eddie pretty much started beating up Kross. Alicia stopped him, saying, this isn't you, this isn't who you are. Eddie said, This is who I am, and he said no more Eddie or something. Well, she said no more Eddie, but Kross pretty much had blood in his mouth, saying, "Come on, I want more." He wanted more. Eddie Edwards pretty much, I guess he looked at his wife, then he turned around and did he bite Kross or chew his face off or something? I don't know what he did here, but I guess he chewed his face off, and there was blood all over his mouth, and he was just. I don't know, and Kross, I guess, was just on the ground or something. I guess, in pain, and then as the music kept playing, it pretty much ended it with what Eddie Edwards somewhat killing Killer Kross. I don't think he killed him, he stepped on him, but was this like Lucha Underground again or something with this? Because this was very cinematic, I will say that. Because what did he bite his face off or something? Because I don't know how crazy they're gonna try to do this whole crazy Eddie Edwards thing. I don't know. So that was kind of I don't know if he just killed him in that. Did he? I don't know. That's something about that was just strange to me. But yeah, Eddie Edwards and Killer Kross, I don't know. Is he a cannibal now? So I don't know what's going on with this. Sami Callihan pretty much cut a promo from his camcorder. Pretty much how Tessa Blanchard wants to be treated as an equal. Pretty much. An equal. As he pretty much said that, in 2019, everybody wants equal opportunities. And he pretty much talked about the match between her and him at Slammiversary. Sammy pretty much said that, he's going to treat Tessa like he treats everybody else and beat him to a bloody pulp. And he talked about he's beaten down Pentagon, Brian Cage, and Rich Swann, and he's made them all famous, even though I swear he lost all these feuds, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think he did lose all these feuds. Now that I think about it, listen, now one with Pentagon, that was a great match last year at Slammiversary. That was like that was a match of the category. But he did lose all these feuds. If you kind of look at the end of these things, to Swan, Cage, and Pentagon. And he talked about being a draw, and then he's bringing up the ratings. Don't know about the ratings thing right now. I think Impact needs a way better TV deal than this horrible Pursuit channel. Twitch is one thing, but still, you need a bigger TV deal to be taken seriously, because Pursuit's not doing them any favors, and they're making too many screw-ups, as we seen in the past few weeks, of replaying episodes or just doing stupid stuff. I heard there was some problems on Twitter. I don't know who's running the thing on not Twitter, but on Twitch or anything. But get it right, people. Anthem, okay, it's not really Impact's fault. It's more Anthem. You just gotta get a better TV deal, or just watch what y'all do on the internet, something, because I've been hearing problems about that lately. But like I said, Sami Callihan versus Tessa Blanchard. It's going to be a Slammiversary. And then as we get into the main event, then Rich Swann versus Johnny Impact versus Michael Elgin. This was a great match. That was a very great match. You talk about crazy spots like what, the double German suplex by Elgin on Impact and Swann, or the flying chuck into a Poison Rana on Michael Elgin, because he kicks Swann doing the flying chuck, and then Swann hit the Hurricane Rana, like Poison Rana, backwards Hurricane Rana on him, which was pretty good. This was a really great match, though. I even like what they did, the whole kick sequence ending in a double lethal injection. Because they pretty much get it to the end where Elgin and Swann were kicking each other. Johnny pretty much hit Elgin with a Spanish Fly from the top rope, which pretty much Rich Swann came from out of nowhere, hitting a 450 splash on Johnny Impact for the win, and then Swann pretty much held up his title. Michael Elgin stood behind him and pretty much took the title from him, was about to hit him, but Swann dodged it, ending up kicking him. Swann pretty much dodged it again, hit him with a roundhouse kick, and then even taking Johnny out with another kick, a super kick in after that. And as he held up his title, Johnny Bravo came out and hit Swann with the Ultimate X sign, and as they pretty much shoved the X into Swann's throat and stuff, Elgin and Johnny Impact started fighting for the title. Next thing you know, Brian Cage making his return, even though he was going to be here next week. Well, not next week, but a medical update. He returned tonight, pretty much spine busting Johnny Bravo, military pressing Johnny Impact to the ramp to the outside of the ring. Him and Elgin had a stare down in. Pretty much both guys brawled. Cage pretty much hit Elgin with a pretty much a big knee, and then a discus lariat, ending it off with a power bomb after that, as he stood tall with his world title. So Brian Cage making his return. A very great main event with Elgin, Swann, and Impact. I say these main events have been really great lately, especially between those three and the Mac. All four of them just been putting on some great matches in the past few weeks to what I've seen. So it's been very enjoyable and stuff. So yeah, I did like this match, and it protects Elgin. He wasn't pinned here because they're still building up to Slammiversary and everything, so he can't be pinned. Johnny taking the pin wasn't bad because he pretty much kind of got back up and did something after that. But Cage was, like I said, Cage was back again, and I guess I'm assuming he's cleared now to wrestle. So I believe he's been cleared. Some people say he's already been wrestling outside of Impact, but pretty much he is back now, so he will be there at Slammiversary to face Michael Elgin for the World Championship. But overall, another good episode this week. Very enjoyable. Really looking forward to Slammiversary. Looks like they got a really good card coming up, so I think this should be enjoyable. Can this be great as last year's one? I don't know if it can be as great as last year's Slammiversary, but the card does look promising though, so I think this is really gonna be a very enjoyable show when it comes up, because I remember last year and it was really great. So some people said it was like the best pay-per-view of the year last year, Slammiversary, because I think just last year's Impact had a resurgence in the company itself, and they became better again because you got rid of idiots like Jeff Jarrett and others that was screwing up the show, and you brought in Don Callis and credit Anthem also. They did a really better job with Impact in the past year, especially last year, because like I said, they had a resurgence and you had a lot of great people on that show. A lot of great people. And you still do have some great ones on them here too, and ones that are being added. But I did enjoy this show tonight, and like I said, Slammiversary, I think it's going to be good. But overall, I'm gonna end it off from here. Maybe a little late on this review. It's been a very long weekend for me. Graduations, birthdays. I'm not gonna go in that whole story. I keep forgetting there's another pay-per-view tonight. Technically, Stomping Ground, Lugs commercial, rematch of Saudi Arabia, which is something I do not really care. I forgot the show was even tonight, and I guess I'm gonna come back with a review about that. This is like D level, EF level pay-per-view tonight. Whatever I gotta watch with this Lugs commercial, Stomping Ground. To be honest, if I didn't know what the pay-per-view was tonight, I thought to be honest, I was more focused on probably watching the BET Awards tonight than whatever was going on with WWE right now, okay? I forgot both of those shows were on the same day, and to be honest, I forgot more of the WWE one. I probably knew more about the BET Awards one because of the commercial, so I probably was gonna, just watch that show and I'm gonna forget, but hey, maybe I'll multitask or just record, but I'm out of here. Hope you enjoyed this Impact review. Comment, subscribe, tell me what you think about the show. Follow me on Twitter at HoodNight890. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.